Hello. Okay, so back in my kitchen again. I have just hit 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube, so this is 10,000 subscriber Clootie Dumpling. The reason I've done that is I have been trying to hold off doing Clootie Dumpling for a long time because I've never done it before. It seems really complicated because there's a long list of ingredients and there is a really strange method in how to cook it, and I don't have much in the way of an actual recipe. So I went to go see my gran and I told her that I wanted to make Clootie Dumpling. She told me that her mum, who I'm actually named after, used to make Clootie Dumpling every week, and she would make it and then she would dry it out in front of the fire. I don't have a fire, I have an oven, so that's fine. The recipe I have is a basic recipe that my gran gave me that was my great granny's recipe, and we're going to work off that. And by work off that, what I mean is, well, I'll show you. So I basically sat next to her while she told me what she believed to be in it, and I wrote that down. And then the instructions to make, I have mix dry with wet. Wet the cloth, dust with flour, wrap in towel, tie to lid. That's basically what I've got. So we're basically winging this. I've got high hopes because Clootie Dumpling was originally a recipe first recorded in like the 1700s or mid 1700s. So if they could make it back then, I'm sure by us winging it, we'll be okay. I mean, I've got a fairly structured idea of ingredients, how to do it. So let's just do it. In the spirit of using my great granny's recipe, I have my granny's peony. Now if you're not aware of what a peony is, I'll show you. This is a peony. So this is my granny's. You can tell it is very old, but in very good condition. So we're wearing this in tradition, and also because I think it's going to get messy. Small disclaimer before I start, the dogs are going to be running around, but I'm not going to be touching them obviously because I am baking, but you will hear them. That's just the way it is. Also, what I have done is I've started making this video at 7:10 in the evening. Now the reason for that is because I have to boil this for 4 hours. I have to open the back door to allow all the steam to go out of the house. If I was to do that during the day, it would allow flies and stuff to come in because it's summertime and there's a lot of flies. I have just mentioned that I'm doing this at 7:10 at night. This is a coffee, but I need it. So we're going to start off by just measuring the stuff in one bowl. It's basically I just shove it all in, mix it together. That's not just me being lazy. Reading this, it basically is what it is. Dumplings and stuff like that and puddings, they all tend to be just one big pot of just throw it in, mix it, you cannot go wrong. So I'm going to measure it as I go. Okay, so I'm just going to start adding all this in. I'm lucky enough that I have a set of scales that actually you just press the button and it resets, so I can add one in, reset it, add the other one in, so I'm not having to constantly measure and go and measure and go. So this recipe asks for 500 grams of plain flour. Obviously it's a pudding, so you're going to need bicarbonate of soda in there as well. So we'll start with 500 grams of plain flour. And then what we're going to do is, in the first attempt of pouring it into the bowl, actually pour it everywhere else, and just pour it all over your packet of raisins. Right, so that's 300 for now. I'm just going to sieve this. My sieve isn't big enough to hold 500 grams of flour. We're sieving it just to get the lumps out. I mean, that's fairly obvious, I don't have to tell you that. It just means that when you're combining it all together, if you sieve it, you're not going to get big lumps of like dry flour inside. Especially if you're boiling this pudding, it's going to get kind of claggy inside anyway. Now I had to go out and buy bigger bowls because I didn't have any bowls big enough for what I thought I was going to need. I got this bowl from the supermarket for £1.50, so obviously there's a lot of ingredients here. If you don't already have these ingredients in your house, making this for the first time could set you off for maybe about 20 quid, but you can probably make 2 or 3 out of it. Okay, so next it's asking for 250 grams of castor sugar. Castor sugar is the finer sugar, that is finer than granulated sugar, and it just dissolves a lot faster. I think I explained that in my tablet making video as well. Also known as the sugar that Marcus will use in his coffee when we've ran out of normal sugar. Right, so my gran says 3 teaspoons of baking powder, so that's what we'll do. So I'm going to put them in, and I'm going to put them in level, because I think that's what it should be. Now what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to tick next to every ingredient that I've put in here to ensure that I've not missed something, because I've never done this before. So we've got a plain flour, castor sugar and baking powder. Right, okay. So 1, 2, 3. Right. I'll just leave that there now. It's going to ask for half a teaspoon of salt. Wow. So I have low sodium salt because I eat too much salt. So I would say that's about half. So we'll tick that off. So it's saying a 1/4 teaspoon of grated nutmeg. Now I did have nutmegs, and I realised I don't have the grater for them. So I have like already ground nutmeg, but that'll do. I don't see why we need to be so fancy. Why can't we just use all the ground stuff? Oh, well, I mean, that's not a 1/4. Let's put a wee bit more in there. Fuck it, that'll do. Right. Done that one. Yeah, there's my whole nutmeg, but I don't have a grater. Right. Cinnamon. How much cinnamon does she want? Cinnamon is 1 teaspoon. I would say a teaspoon. Now, allspice. Now that again confused me because my gran says put some allspice in it, but then there's allspice is basically cinnamon and nutmeg and stuff, but whatever. Who's going to argue with my granny Suzanne, eh? My great granny Suzanne. Well, her name is Susan and I'm named after her. And ginger. 1 tablespoon of this as well. Now obviously I'm going to put all the ingredients and stuff in the description, so don't worry in case you're not following. Oh fuck. Yeah, that's a big lump. Get in there. Get in there. Right. Oh, right, okay. I would say that's probably enough. Let's take a wee bit of that out. Put it in the sink. Right. Okay, so they're done. So that's fine. Right. So we'll put them in. Now, the next ingredient is beef suet. I have never used beef suet in my life for anything, ever. Like, ever. And I've been told to obviously use it in dumplings and stuff, but I've never done it. And I'm just giving it a stir round to distribute the spices a little bit through the flour, because I don't know if beef suet is wet. So I don't want to put it in there now and talk all those spices and then it like sticks together, you know what I mean? Right. So we've done the cinnamon, allspice, ginger, nutmeg. Cool. So beef suet, 200 grams. This is 240 gram pack. Now I'm a vegetarian, and even just holding this bag of beef fat gives me the bokeh a wee bit. Where's this coffee? But we're doing it for YouTube. Okay, so 200 grams of beef fat. Oh Christ. It's like, it looks like grated cheese. There must be a vegetarian option for this. Probably vegetable fat somewhere in it. Well, whatever man, we're using this because this is what my gran said. Right, okay. Right, be gone. Back in the box. It's no right, man. Anyway, right, so I'm not touching that with my hands right now. I'm going to stir that round with my, I'm sure it's a tablespoon here. There we go. Okay, so that's looking like a big pile of white mush with white bits of grated cheese in it. I'm going to keep telling myself it's grated cheese and not animal fat. Okay, right, so what's next? Raisins. Raisins and sultanas. Right. I don't know why I said it like that. If you're raisins and sultanas. Right, so what's 200 grams of each. It's not, it's 250 grams of each. Also that noise, that beautiful noise you just heard, was Buddha eating too much kibble and coughing the rest up and then continuing to chew what he coughed up. What a majestic beast. So, 250 grams of sultanas. And again, of raisins. So therein, I'm going to take this off the scales for a minute and just mix this round because that should be all of the dry ingredients. After this we need to add eggs, an apple, treacle and milk. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a wee well in the middle for these dry ingredients because I think that might be easier. So it's 3 tablespoons of treacle that we need. So I'm going to do that. Now treacle scares me and I don't know why. I've never used it. I don't even think I've ever eaten treacle before. I think I've eaten a treacle toffee. To be fair, that smells really good. So we're just going to get 3 tablespoons of that. We're going to do our best because it's obviously like tar, so being able to try and get like an actual representation of what a tablespoon worth is difficult. But do you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen? This is going to taste treacly, because that's not the worst it could have happened. Right. So that'll be 2. Oh, Christ almighty. Right. What? Right. Okay. Do you know, I can't even get it off the spoon with my fingers because it's so thick, it's just spreading around the spoon on my finger. Right, I'm going to wash my hands now. I think that'll do. Okay, so the treacle's in, hands are washed. I'm going to add the milk now. I'm going to take off the treacle while holding this up here, don't know why. There we go. Right, 100 milliliters of whole milk. There we go. Now I'm going to keep this handy just in case I've overdone it at any point and it seems a bit dry. And it's asking for, so there's my milk and 2 large eggs. So I'm just going to crack the eggs into the jug I just used for the milk. Give my hands another rinse since I touched eggs. And then it asks for 1 full Bramley apple. You have to peel this and grate it. Now, my gran didn't suggest to put this in. I've just suggested putting it in because to me, this seems like a lot of dry ingredients and not a lot of wet ingredients. And although we're boiling it, I'm just going to mix this as I'm talking to you. Although we're boiling it, and you would think water would make things moist, we're actually boiling it in a cloth, and the water doesn't actually penetrate the dumpling at all. So really, I feel like it might be a bit dry. So I figured if we put the apple in, then it would create some sort of like moisture in the cake that you wouldn't taste the apple, but it would keep it moist, not dry out. Boiling it for 4 hours, man. Now a professional would have done this in advance, but I am not that person. If you've came here looking for that person, you need to keep looking. Does anyone remember being at school and you had to peel an apple, and if you managed to peel the entire apple all at once without all the wee bits, but you start from the top and peel it all the way around, and then you had to fling the apple peel behind you. And however the apple peel landed was the initial of the person that you would marry. No, just me, okay. Okay, so this should be all the ingredients that have to go in. So let's try and give it a stir. Now, you've already seen me trying to give it a stir. It's not the easiest thing in the world. But you know what? If it needs more milk, it needs more milk. But I'm scared in case it's one of those deceptive things that are like, actually, it doesn't need more milk, it just needs stirring. I'm going to put my hands in this, isn't I? Do you know what? Maybe a metal spoon. Now I've changed to a metal spoon because it's cutting through the mixture a little bit easier. So just do your best to mix this. It is quite tough, but you're just basically aiming for, I mean it's flying out everywhere because it's dry and there's not a lot of wet ingredients, but just do your best to try and get all the flour to be evenly coated. Try not to jump in with milk too early because the liquid in here has pretty much sufficed. I mean, there is a tiny bit of flour at the bottom, and if you can just grab it with some of the wet, you should be fine. Now, if you hear Bronson crying, it's not because he requires anything other than attention. And he also wants whatever's in this bowl. So obviously I'm using a metal spoon here, I'm using a grater, I'm using very rudimental tools, but if you have like a big stand mixer where you've got it stirring and you can just throw stuff in, I'd recommend that. But you know what, I'm happy with that. I am happy with what I've got. I would say it's all fully combined. It's really tough. So what I'm going to do now is put the pot on to boil and then tidy this shit and arrange my clootie. What I didn't explain before is a clootie dumpling is called a clootie dumpling because clootie is the name of your cloth. Some people use pillowcases because of the great fabric. My gran has given me a tea towel, or she's given me her clootie, which is quite big. So it's a fair old size, and the reason we use it is because it's tightly woven. So I'll show you here, it's quite a tight fabric. It's not fluffy, there's no fibres that will like sort of come off or anything. It's quite a good sturdy clootie. So we'll use that, but I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so right now I have cleaned, obviously, as you can see. I have a big pot behind me. Now I have a 4 litre pot, which is the same pot I use to make tablet in. It's 4 litres deep, it's quite a big pot, it's got 2 handles, and importantly it has a lid. Now that pot at the moment is on the boil. I've put boiling water in that pot up to 2.5 litres, which allows me roughly about 2 inches from the top to the water, which will obviously evaporate, but I'm sitting with that now, and I'm also sitting with a kettle that is full and has boiled, so there's plenty of water on the go now. So while that's doing its thing, I'm going to deal with this, and by this I mean I'm going to arrange the clootie dumpling in its paper and its cloth. Now I don't trust just throwing it in the cloth, which is what my gran told me to do, but I don't trust just throwing it in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in greaseproof paper. Or baking paper. So I would start with about that much. I would probably do 2 of them. Right. And if they start to roll, just put them round the other way. Then that don't happen. Right, I have string, which, how cute is my gran? It's like in a wee tub. So I've got string, I've got flour, and I'm going to get oil. What I'm going to do is I am going to grease this and flour this because I think that it will give it a better skin and also less chance of sticking than it would be just putting it in the cloth. Traditionally what you're meant to do is just open up your coat and damp it, cover it in flour, put the mixture inside, tie it up, boil it. I'm not going to do that because I'm a rebel, and I think this might work better. So what I'm going to do with my big sheets of greaseproof paper is I'm going to scrunch it up, I'm going to wet it, and I'm going to make it nice and pliable. So let's straighten it back out again. So it's obviously shrinked, shrink, still smaller. Right, so we'll do what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to get my oil and I'm just going to like lightly drizzle it, just so nothing's going to stick. Not like a ton. I'm quite lucky this is running out, so it's not giving me a ton anyway, but that's enough. My pot is starting to boil now, and I am going to dust some flour first. Now I'm just using plain flour, and from what my gran tells me, you need to have quite a thick layer of flour on to allow a crust. So that's 2 tablespoons worth of flour I've got there, and I'm just going to do a nice even coat. And I'm going to do it right across all panels of my greaseproof paper. Now I don't think that was enough, so let's do some more. I would say maybe another 2 heaped tablespoons. Now obviously there's no like science to this in regards to how evenly you have to do it. Just do your best to get it as even as you possibly can. Yeah. Smashing. That'll do. So now I have to put the mixture in the middle. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this big spoon because it is a lot of mixture, it's very heavy, and I found that a metal spoon cuts through it easier. So we'll just take a bit at a time so that we don't make any mistakes, like that. We're just trying to put it straight in the middle. I'm going to get the spoon I was just using to mix it to ensure that I can get it off this spoon. Now you can see that I'm obviously struggling a bit, like it's pretty thick. It's like cement. Tasty, tasty cement. Now, for the looks of it, this is going to make one hell of a dumpling because it actually gets bigger, they expand, and I mean that's a lot of mixture. That is a lot of mixture. Okay, so the mixture is now in the middle, so all we need to do now is lift up the paper and tie it. Now this is the bit that I need a third hand for, and I don't have a third hand, I've only got 2. So I've just cut myself a bit of string just about this length for now. I think that'll do just to get a grasp. Now I'm a bit scared, I don't really know how this is going to go, but we can only do our best, eh? We can only do our best. Now, I think if we just grab all the corners and pull up, oh see I dropped that one. If you've got someone helping you, I would suggest grab all the corners that you can. Someone take so many and the other person take so many. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to tie this partial. Now, I'm not so worried if it rips or anything because realistically, this is an extra step. I've put this paper here on the off chance that it sticks to that cloth. So what I've done is just an extra step. So if the paper's ripped, I'm okay with it. So I'm going to cut off this because I don't think we need this excess paper. I'm going to cut off the excess string. Happy days. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet my Clootie. Now I'm going to wet my cloth. I'm going to move these dirty dishes. I'm going to wet this cloth and do the same thing again. Now it doesn't have to be soaking wet, just damp. So my gran tells me anyway. So yeah, just wring out the excess. Yeah. That is a ton weight when you pick it up. So, lay your Clootie cloth out flat, make sure it's in the middle, and again, grab all the corners. I'm just going to tuck the edges in, and you need to leave some room for it to expand. So my dumpling is here, just to this line here. So I'm going to probably tie it up here somewhere. What I'm going to do as well is I'm just going to tie it once crudely, just to get a tie in it, which is what I've just done there, and that seems to be okay. And then all I'm doing is turning it, like taking it out, twisting it. Do you mind? So all I'm doing is taking it out, twisting the string, pulling it back round again and tying it again. I just feel like that adds some security to it, so it's not going to open at all. So here comes the part that I don't really understand. Is we now need to attach this to this lid. So I'm taking a fair bit of string, and I am going to do my best. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it once in the middle, so pull the string out to see how long it is, right? So I'll tie it once round the part we've already tied, pull it as tight as you can, set the lid on for now, and just put it through the handles. That should have enough support. Moving your lids to the side, you're just going to put your string under the string that's already there, tying again, do the exact same thing again, and that just means you've basically got like a partial effect where you've got like string on every side of it. Obviously it's a circle lid, so it's not going to be fully even, but that's okay. So we now have a sort of contraption. When you lift the lid, it holds the Clootie dumpling, which is probably the best I'm going to do. So now that we've attached the dumpling to the lid, now what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the pot of water. Now it has to be in the pot of water for 4 hours, so make sure that you obviously put a timer on. Initially you have to get your big pot. As I said, I've got a 4 litre one, have it with boiling water in it, and then put it down to a simmer. Now it has to simmer for 4 hours. Please don't boil it for 4 hours, ensure that it's a rolling simmer. So we'll put it in, you put the lid on obviously, and it means that if it's simmering, it's not going to bubble over, it's just going to sit nice and simmer. I would check on it every half an hour just to ensure the water hasn't went away. If it has, just boil the kettle, put boiling water back into it, because if you put cold water back into it and it has to get back up to temperature, it might not be as effective. So I'm going to do that just now, and I'm going to come back to you in 4 hours with what we do next. Okay, so it's been 4 hours, it's now midnight, it's now pitch black outside, and the Clootie dumpling is still boiling in this pot. What I would say is the either the string that I used or the method of tying that I used wasn't great, because it's just slid all the way around. But that being said, as I have been keeping an eye on it for the past 4 hours, I've noticed that the need for string isn't really there. In future, I would probably just tie it at the top, really secure, and just put it in the water with a lid on it. It's not that big a deal. I thought maybe if it touched the bottom it would burn, but it's bubbling off the bottom, so it's never touching the bottom now anyway. So I'm going to take it out now. So my gran told me that when you take it out, it has a very attractive white scum almost on the outside of it, and that's why it goes next to the fire, because that scum then becomes the skin. The scum's a disgusting word. It's more like a foamy film. So that has to come out of the cloth and then into the oven. I'm going to have a look at it for the first time because it's still in the pot. I'm going to do that to show you guys what it looks like, and so that you have enough idea of what it's supposed to look like. Okay, so I've now moved, the pot's now in front of me. I have a board in front of me, and I also have this tray. I don't have a baking tray, so I'm using my oven grill and some tin foil. You can tell that I'm not very well equipped. So I'm going to turn this off the boil now, and I'm going to get my scissors. Got my scissors, and we're just going to take it out and see what happens. I think what I'll do is I'll put a dish towel down. Now obviously be really careful because this stuff is obviously, excuse me, so obviously be really careful because this is boiling. It's been in boiling water for 4 hours or so. So take my really burnt oven cloth. So I'm just pulling it out, letting the water drip, and then we'll set it here. Okay. So, straight off the bat, it smells like dumpling. Bit too much ginger, but that's my fault. It did fall in. Right, so I'm going to cut the string to take it away from the lid. Looking at the water in my steam glasses, looking at the water in the pot, it does look a tinge of a different colour, but I mean that's okay because I mean we had that in there for ages and it's just a tinge. Before I put this in the oven, I think this might stick to this, so I'm just going to squish it with some oil spray, just so the bottom doesn't stick. So obviously this is very burny, so do not touch this with your hands. Do as I say, not as I do. So let me see if I can show you. This is what we're left with. It is a ton weight, but looks like dumpling shape, so we'll go with that. So we'll cut it out of its Clootie prison. Right, let me have a look. Da-da-da. Wow. Okay. So I mean, you can see that it looks like it's, to me, doubled in size. Like, easily doubled. Let's just pull it off. It's burning me now. It's burning me now. Right. So, remember this was the extra step that I wanted to take to make sure that it didn't stick. And I'm happy I did that because I think it definitely would have stuck to this. I'm gonna get my tongs out because it's just burning me too much. You know, that doesn't look half bad. To me, that looks like how it's supposed to look, and it's got that white gelatinous stuff on the outside, which, don't worry, it's just the flour we used to create that skin. But that looks good to me. Okay, so now we have to put this on here and put this in the oven. How I'm going to do that, I have no idea. It does seem like it might... Well, do you know what? I don't need fingerprints anyway. Let's do this. Right, so 1, 2, 3. There we go. Smashing. And this glorious beast goes in the oven at 180 degrees or 160 if you're using a fan oven. For Americans, I will put the American version of what that would be down below in the description. And it goes in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Just keep a wee eye on it, make sure it doesn't catch. Okay, so this has been in the oven now for like 20 minutes. It smells actually really good. And what I did is I took a knife and I just patted it along the like outside of the dumpling, and it made it kind of like a nice noise. It didn't basically go through the dumpling, it tapped off of it, and it sounded like if you've ever baked bread before, it kind of like a nice noise. Right, don't know how else to describe it to you, but we'll take it out of the oven now. Okay, so this is the cooked Clootie dumpling. For the noise that I was talking about, that's the noise you're looking for. So we have a fairly successful Clootie dumpling. Now this white stuff is just the flour that you put on when you wrapped it up, so that's normal. And what I would do now is just leave it to rest. So I'm basically just going to leave that there. I'm not going to touch it. That's going to sit there now probably overnight until tomorrow morning. So when I said that's going to be there overnight, it absolutely is going to be there overnight because it's now 1 o'clock in the morning. If you are going to make this, I fully suggest that you do that in the morning because it does take all day. Now I only had to fill up my pot maybe twice, 3 times because the Clootie dumpling takes up most of the space in your pot. The water obviously comes up around it and you don't need to really fill that up that often. So previously where I had said maybe checking it every half an hour, I wouldn't say you would have to do that. I think as long as the lid's on, really just check it once every hour or so and just keep topping up with water out the kettle. Okay, so this has been my Clootie dumpling video. I think what I'm going to have to maybe do is invest in more things to bake with. I don't have any baking trays or blenders or whisks or machines or anything like that. I think a lot of that you do need. So I think what I'll do is invest in those things so I can make better videos for you guys. In the description below I will have a brief history of this Clootie dumpling, the ingredients that I used and the method that I used that you've just saw, but in a more coherent way, because I understand obviously I was doing it as a trial and error. I didn't know if it was going to work, and it looks like it has. Tomorrow I will cut this in half and I'll have a look in the inside and I'll show you better tomorrow what it looks like. I'll take some pictures and things like that and I'll just include them at the end. I probably won't have time to video tomorrow because I've got a lot of errands to run and I have to also go see my papa as well, who's still not very well. But I did tell him that I'm making this and he's very excited to eat some, so that makes me really happy. Clootie dumpling's obviously something that he ate growing up. When I say papa, he's my grandfather, so he's my dad's dad, and he's very old. So growing up he always ate Clootie dumpling. My great granny would put it in front of the fire and stuff like that as well. It's just very traditional, so I'm looking forward to smearing it in butter and taking it into the hospital for him to try. Anyone could try this, but if I get my papa's seal of approval, that's what makes it perfect. So I'll let you know how that goes. I'll update in the comments if he liked it or not. He probably will, he likes most things that I make him. Usual links below if you're interested. There's Patreon, Twitter, Instagram, all that kind of stuff if you're interested. If you're not and you just came here to watch me make dumpling, then thank you so much for coming along, and thank you so much if you're one of the 10,000 people who now follow me on YouTube. I know to some that's not really a lot of people, but to me it's huge. It's such a big deal for me because that's a unnerving amount of people who want to see me bake when I don't even own a baking tray. So that's a big deal. Anyway, whatever, I'm away, I'm going now, I'm going to bed, I'm going to take my makeup off, I'm going to sleep, and I will upload photos of my Clootie dumpling. Thank you again. Bye. Okay, so it's morning time. I'm a fucking genius because I've put the washing machine on and that's what you can hear. So what we're going to do quickly is just open this up and cut it in half and show you the middle. So I have turned it upside down. I covered it overnight, left it out to cool. Sounds dense. So all I'm going to do, these lines are the lines that I got from putting it on the grill, and then putting tin foil on the grill, because as I told you yesterday, I don't actually have any oven trays. Anyway, whatever, we're going to cut it in half. I'm using a bread knife, just because I feel like that might be what's best for the job. The knife's coming out clean, so that's a good sign. There's no like sticky mess on it. And I'm really happy with that. So that is your Clootie Dumpling. It smells amazing. And that is pretty much how it's supposed to look. There's obviously this dent here with me, but I think that's because my clout wasn't tight enough. So it wasn't like a really tight circle, it was more of an oval when it was in the pot. But that's just me, it's trial and error, and you know what, we did our best. And I think that looks and smells amazing, and I'll be having that for my breakfast this morning. So yeah, thank you so much again for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed following this. If you do ever think about making this, please send me photos on Twitter, because I absolutely love seeing the photos. I love seeing how different everyone else's recipes come out and just how delicious they look, and it means so much to me that someone would go to the effort to try something that I did. So yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Now that pot at the moment is on the boil. I've put boiling water in that pot. I've put boiling pillowcases because it's inside, and then I'm just going to use some olive oil, but what I'm going to... I swear to God my house is haunted and I'm fucking freaking out. I haven't slept in days. Anyway,